The captain of a cruise ship suddenly passes away during the middle of the cruise. I have two cruise news stories to tell you, both about scammers on two separate cruise lines that are successfully getting away with scamming you out of your hard-earned money. And have you heard the story about Spider-Man? No, I'm not talking about the Marvel character. I'm talking about the guy who decided to climb the mooring ropes to a Carnival cruise ship. I'm gonna let you know that story and what happened to this character. All this and more, let's swan dive right into it. Hello everyone, it's Cynthia, your host. Welcome back to today's show. Well, in today's show, I have 4 cruise news stories to share with you. 2 of them are about scams. So I'm gonna start the show off with those so we can get that out of the way. One is a very tragic story about a cruise captain, and then the other is about a guy who I guess wants to be a daredevil and the woes that has caused him as well as the cruise line. So let's start off with our first story, and this takes us over to Norwegian Cruise Line. So this is how this scam is unfolding at Norwegian. You're getting a phone call from a 301 area code, and the person on the line says, "Hey, I'm from Norwegian Cruise Lines. I see you have a cruise booked. I'd love to help you book your air." And you think, great, I need to get to my cruise. So the person then says, okay, I can get that air booked for you. Just give me your credit card and I will find you the specific flight that you're looking for. Well, there's a lot of red flags in this story right here. First and foremost, Norwegian's probably not going to call you about their air program. Norwegian does have an airfare deal right now, and what it's offering is free airfare for the second guest. But you would have to call Norwegian for the most part and talk to someone about that deal. Also, this program won't guarantee that you can have a specific flight. Now, Norwegian does have what's called an Air Choice program. With the Air Choice program, you are offered the opportunity to get a specific flight, but once again, you would have to contact Norwegian. Norwegian wouldn't contact you. All right, those are some of the warnings. But this particular scammy story doesn't end there. The person gives them the credit card and they book these specific flights. And then a month later, they get a call back from this 301 area code. And the person on the line says, "Hey, I've got great news for you. The airfare just went down. All I need is your new credit card information and I can get that booked for you." Unfortunately, this successful scam, which is actually a true story that happened, took this person for over $20,000. That's terrible. We've gotten some insight to help us better monitor these kind of scammy calls. First and foremost, that area code 301, well, it happens to be from an area in Maryland. Norwegian Cruise Line only has corporate offices in Miami and then sales and reservation offices in Sunrise, Florida and Mesa, Arizona. Even employees who work for Norwegian and work remotely will only use phone numbers that come with the area codes starting with 305 for Miami, 954 for Sunrise, and 480 for Mesa. So kind of being aware of the number that you see populate on your phone, that's going to help as well. Also, remember, you're probably not going to get calls from the cruise lines themselves. And let's just say you do and it's legit. It wouldn't hurt at all for you to say, hang on a minute, and hang up. That's right, put the phone down and then call the cruise line back. That extra time that it will take you to find the number to the cruise line and hang up on that person can save you thousands of bucks and lots of headaches. So the warning is, make sure that you are the one calling those cruise lines. And if you feel that something's wrong, it doesn't just feel right in your gut, hang up that phone. Don't give them any information, credit card, dates of birth, nothing, and call the cruise lines yourself. Now, while we're still talking about scams that are being offered and unfortunately us cruisers are accepting, we're going to switch this over to Carnival Cruise Line because they have a scam that's going on over there as well. If you know anything about Carnival Cruise Line, you know that their brand ambassador is named John Hild. And John Hild has a very large following on his social media presence, something like over 600,000 on his Facebook alone. Well, you can probably imagine that the face of Carnival Cruise Lines with over 600,000 followers might not have time to actually contact you. But that's what the scam is that's going on at Carnival Cruise Lines. Cruisers are getting phone calls, text messages, and social media posts reaching out to them saying that they're John Hild, offering them deals, offering them advice, asking for help. And John let us know that would never happen. He is not going to reach out to you in any way. You would definitely have to go to his Facebook page and maybe type in some kind of message before you would have some correspondence with John Hild. He's not calling, asking you to send gift cards for your cruise. He's not calling, saying that there is a good upgrade and he can take care of it for you personally. Nothing like that. We're not going to get a call from the brand ambassador offering us deals and all I need is your credit card. An obvious way to spot a fake social media account from John Hild is look at the number of subscribers that he has or followers that he has. It's a large following. So if you get some kind of, message from John Hild and he has about 73 or 45 or 200 followers, you can probably bet it's not him. So just be aware. Once again, just like we discussed with that scam going on with Norwegian, if you get any kind of message from the cruise lines and it just doesn't feel right to you or too good to be true, hang up or click out and actually pick up the phone or go online and contact that cruise line yourself. It won't do you a bit of harm to hang up on that person or get out of that message and actually contact that cruise lines themselves to see if they are offering you some kind of deal. It keeps you safe and keeps your money in your pocket. So watch out for these scammers out there. I have a question for you in the audience. Have any of you ever received some of these scammy, notorious calls, texts, or emails when you have booked your cruise? I would love to know. Another caution, we get so excited when we get our cruises booked, and sometimes we take to social media and post, I'm going on my cruise. We show our countdown, and that's fine. That's exciting, but make sure you're giving very little information. You don't need to know the ship, the day, the time, who you're traveling with, how long you're going to be gone. Too much information, maybe. Scammers are out there. It's like their job, their 9 to 5, and they're trying to separate you from your hard-earned money. Don't help them out. So when you post that information about your cruise, keep it small and simple and just don't give too much away. I'd love to know if you have ever been contacted like this or the victim of a scam. Drop it down in the comments below. Our next story, which is a very, very sad story, takes us over to Princess Cruise Lines, and we're talking about the Diamond Princess. Now, this did just happen today, which is May 19th of 2025. According to passenger reports, there was a distress call heard over the loudspeaker at approximately 2:30 in the morning seeking medical attention. This was a medical emergency alert call. There was a second alert that went out over the loudspeaker just as passengers were getting ready to disembark for their day in Keelung, Taiwan. The announcement read, "It is with profound sadness that we share the news of the passing of Captain Mikhail Bartolome, who died on board Diamond Princess earlier of a sudden medical emergency." Diamond Princess staff captain Salvatore Massera, who has been with Princess Cruise Line since 2000, well, he is now taking over helm of that ship as this tragic story has come. The ship departed Yokohama, Japan on May 16th for a 9-night sailing. Captain Bartolome joined Princess Cruises back in 1995. He was a self-described passionate fisherman, and people fondly remembered him as one of the best captains that they ever had. Captain Bartolome was 52 years old. Current and former passengers shared their condolences to his friends and his family via social media. So our hearts really go out and we share condolences with all of the staff there aboard the Diamond Princess, of course, and his family and his friends. I would love to know if any of you have sailed aboard the Diamond Princess or have Captain Bartolome as your captain. If so, we'd love it if you chime in down in the comments below. We are down to our last cruise news story, but before I get there, I'm taking this time to invite you to subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you as part of the Right Recipe for Travel family. All you need to do is tap down on that subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a thing. And if you like the videos, please do like the videos. Give us a like, and of course, tap down on that notification bell. Anytime we post a new video, you will be one of the first to know. Thank you so much for joining the family. On to our last cruise news story. This last strange cruise news story takes us back over to Carnival Cruise Lines. The saga continues. Let me tell you the story. Around May 17th of 2025, there was a man captured on video climbing the mooring ropes of a Carnival cruise ship. He earned the nickname Spider-Man for this climb over there in Sydney, Australia. This stunt is extremely dangerous, as he could have fallen, as the mooring ropes could have snapped and broken. It just was not a good thing. They're not meant for people to climb on. So the police there, as well as the crew, orchestrated and got them to lower these moorings, and they lowered it right down into the waiting arms of the police, where this 29-year-old was arrested. Upon his arrest, he was given 3 separate charges, and I'll have to read these off. He was given a charge of unauthorized entry into a cleared zone without being screened and cleared, entering a landside restricted zone without authorization, and entering a waterside restricted zone without authorization. He has since been released on bail, but does need to appear back in court on June 11th of this year. Carnival has not yet given a statement, but we're going to guess that he will be banned from any Carnival cruise or Carnival's sister brands. I would if I owned a Carnival cruise. I don't want Mr. Stuntman riding on my cruise ships again. We have no idea what possessed this guy to do such a crazy stunt. We can only guess what was going through his mind. We're just very happy that it came to a safe conclusion and no one was hurt. Well, there you have it. That is the cruise news story for you today. I thank you so much for joining us. Oh, and I want to remind you of our other YouTube channel, Right Recipe in the Kitchen. Go take a look over there if you're interested in great cooking and great food. Thanks so much for joining us, and we will catch you at the next adventure.